I think I hear a snowplow. There it comes. And there goes the snow. Hey guys, how are you? David Franco here from daviddefranco.com. Today's video is all about the Logitech Z906 5.1 speaker system for PC, Mac, and all that good stuff. Getting emails in the background. Distractions. Alright, so as you guys know, I got the Logitech Z906 a pretty long time ago, at least in terms of YouTube time. I got it before Christmas, I know that. And obviously with all the holiday madness and just everything going on, I've just been so freaking busy, but I finally had some time to myself to catch up on these videos. And one of those videos is my Z906 review. So let's just jump right into it because I am loving this speaker system. Okay, so as usual, let's start out with the pros. The first pro is pretty obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is 500 watts of 5.1 surround sound THX certified goodness for your computer. That is something you would normally expect from a home theater, but no, you're getting it on your computer. Okay, so as stupid as this may sound, there's something really cool about getting up out of my chair and getting something, I don't know, in that back corner of my office and hearing music coming out of that speaker because obviously it's surround sound. Again, it might sound stupid, but to me, it's just fascinating and I love having surround sound in my office. But then again, that pretty much goes without saying. I mean, who doesn't like surround sound? Well, if you don't, we can't be friends. The second pro that I would like to talk about is the included control console that comes with the Z906. This thing is a huge improvement from what I used with my 2.1 speakers. I forget the name. It's kind of skipping my mind at the moment. But basically, this console gives you instant access to all the controls, the levels, you can mute, the power. It's just very, very convenient. And now the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that the Z906 has support for up to 6 simultaneous devices, such as my Xbox 360, my PS4, a DVR, a DVD player. You get what I'm saying? This thing basically allows for a media powerhouse. And honestly, with that said, I wouldn't just limit myself to putting this thing on a computer. I mean, if you're on a tight budget and you want a decent home theater, at least in terms of a starter package, the Z906 would be great in your living room or your dorm room, a bedroom. And that's something I really enjoyed. This is not just a computer speaker system. But of course, it does not stop there. And yes, I just want to say real quick, this review might seem like an advertisement for Logitech. It's not. I just love these speakers that much. And honestly, I really love Logitech as a brand. I've been using them for as long as I can remember. From mice and keyboards to speakers to webcams. Actually, there's one right behind me, the C910. They're just a great company. Okay, so moving forward, the next thing I want to praise is this. Again, I did not have access to something like this with my Logitech 2.1 system, but with the Z906, I do. Now, it's no secret, this is a wireless remote, but it's just so convenient having a remote for my speaker system on my Mac Pro. For example, if I want to turn it off right now, I can. Of course, I'm going to turn it back on. It's just really nice having this with me. I can access my levels, my effects, my mute, my power, everything. Now, unfortunately, having this wireless remote does come with one major setback, but I'll talk about that in my list of cons. The next pro that I want to briefly discuss is huge for some people. For me, not so much. It's not a big deal. But the speakers are wall mountable. So not only does this mean you have the freedom of either putting your speakers on your desk, like I do, or shelves, or however your office or living room is set up. But yes, you can fully mount these on your walls. And that right there is a hugely convenient feature for many users. And ironically enough, I actually ended up using one of the speakers in terms of the wall mountable functionality. I only quote that because my setup is kind of odd at the moment. My rear left speaker is sitting on this piece of furniture. I'm sure you'll be seeing in some B-roll. But my rear right speaker has nowhere to go. I don't have a shelf over there. I don't have a table or anything. I mean, I have a windowsill, but the windowsill is a little too small. So I took a tripod with a ball head. I put the tripod and the speaker together like so. And because my ball head rotates, I did it at 90 degrees via the wall mountable socket. And it works beautifully. So in other words, I turned my tripod into a speaker stand. And I gotta say, I was pretty proud of myself for thinking of that. And finally, last on my list of pros, but certainly not least, The included subwoofer is 165 watts of bass pounding goodness. Guys, it is no secret. I love my bass. I love dubstep. I love 80s music. I love anything that has bass, especially in movies and video games. And I gotta say, the Z906 subwoofer included does not disappoint whatsoever. Okay, so as great as the Z906 is, and believe me, the pros easily outweigh the cons, there are a couple things worth mentioning that might be setting you back. Con number one, and this was definitely very disappointing, as great as the wireless remote is, I mean, guys, believe me, I love this feature. There's just something really cool about using a wireless remote on my Mac speakers. I don't know what it is. It's kind of hard to explain. But of course, as awesome as this is, there is one major downfall that I did not expect to experience. And unfortunately, that's the fact that my volume controls on my keyboard no longer work. Now, when I try to do this, you see it pop up right there? Obviously, you can't, read it because it's so far. But basically, it's saying that the Mac cannot read my volume controls. So in other words, my Mac doesn't really know what to do. And unfortunately, that was very disappointing because I love these volume controls. I use them religiously, just like I do with brightness late at night if my eyes get tired, or my play buttons for podcasts and music. But sadly, I can no longer use these over here, my volume control. So that was definitely very, very disappointing. But still, with that said, as much as I love my onboard volume controls on my keyboard, that doesn't make me not want to recommend the Z906 any more than I already have in this video. I mean, again, it's a convenient feature of having these on your keyboard, but I do have this wireless remote, so it's not a huge deal that I have to reach over to the left and just press volume up or volume down or mute. It's just something that I thought was worth mentioning, especially since I've been used to these volume controls since switching to the Mac back in 2004. And now for my second con, which is actually my final con. Yes, there are only 2 cons in this video, which is very impressive, I gotta say. Well, it's the fact that Logitech includes tons, and I mean tons, of speaker cable. Now, for some people, this may be a convenient feature because, as I always like to say, wouldn't you rather have more than less, especially in terms of computer RAM? Well, of course, I'm never going to argue that logic. But for someone like me who likes neat cable management, at least to some degree, the amount of cable that was included with the Z906 was definitely an annoyance. I mean, I didn't need extra long speaker cable on every single speaker. I mean, yes, maybe it makes more sense to make the rear speaker cable longer than the speaker cable that I need for the center speaker and my left and right channels. So perhaps that's something Logitech could have kept in mind, but still, it was definitely a minor annoyance of mine to see that I have so much cable sitting under my desk right now. Now, thankfully, I have a huge area rug in my office, and my area rug kind of folds at the end, so I kind of hide cable under there, and it's kind of my G-header way of doing cable management. So it wasn't all bad. It's just a minor annoyance that I thought was worth mentioning. But still, I gotta say this again, guys. Just like the lack of onboard volume controls on my keyboard, having too much speaker cable is not gonna detract me. Detract? Is that the right word? Is not gonna make me not want to recommend the Z906 because I am loving this speaker system. It's just, honestly, the best speaker system I've ever owned, at least in terms of a computer. Okay, so the verdict, is the Z906 worth it? Obviously. I mean, this goes without saying, guys. Z906, awesome, easily worth it. Now, the bad news, it sells for $400 on Logitech's website, which isn't exactly cheap. But the good news, it sells for about $326 on Amazon, at least as of this recording. So you can save at least $70 by going that route. And of course, as always, for your convenience, that link is right below. So click it, buy it, and enjoy. Huge thanks to Logitech for making this review possible. They were nice enough to send out the Z906 before Christmas time for review, unboxing, and all that good stuff. So guys, you're awesome. Keep up the great work. Now, guys, I gotta say, wrapping up this review, it's no secret, I am no audiophile, but I do enjoy good audio. I enjoy good music, and I enjoy a loud, rich experience. And the Z906 doesn't really disappoint at all, at least in terms of the sound quality. The highs are great, the lows are great, the bass is awesome, the build quality is amazing, which is something I actually didn't really talk about. So overall, I just want to say I'm not an audiophile, but I do appreciate good technology and good hardware overall. So let's just end the review on that note. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you in my next video, which should be my Loot Crate unboxing. So yeah, good times ahead. I'll see you then.